Haha. I'm having all kinds of tech problems today, guys. All right, so let's talk about drugs. So I'm going to use our mouse party chart to kind of go over some of the main drugs that might pop up on your test so we can look at the neurotransmitters and like what class of drug it is. So don't forget you have depressants, stimulants, hallucinogens, and opiates. With any of these drugs, the more you use them, they're going to build up you're going to build up a tolerance. Okay, so in order to get the same effect, you're going to have to use more and more of the drug, unless you use a hallucinogen, which then has what's called reverse tolerance, because they stay in your system for a while. So the more you use of a drug, then the more of the effect builds up in your system. When you quit using a drug and you go off of it, you tend to go through withdrawals because your body has become dependent on the drug. And so you'll get like headaches, and it just depends on the drug, what kind of withdrawal symptoms, but it's the adverse effect of quitting a drug. And all of these drugs, remember, they're going to alter your brain chemistry in fundamental ways. That's what we looked at last week. They're going to mimic neurotransmitters and either be agonists or antagonists. They're going to find a way to make it through your brain's blood barrier. And like I said, it fundamentally alters your brain chemistry, and it's really going to mess with what your brain is supposed to do. So looking at heroin, okay, that is an opiate. It's going to mimic morphine. Okay, it's going to primarily deal with the neurotransmitter dopamine. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause dopamine to flood your synapse. Okay, so when we go back and do the neurotransmitter chart, I'm going to reference this so we can go look at the drugs and like what that would do to you. Okay, but just know that heroin is an opiate and it deals with dopamine. Okay, ecstasy is a stimulant. Okay, and that's really going to kind of dial everything up in your body. It's going to stimulate responses of your body. It tends to make you more alert for a short time. So like I said, it's just going to have a stimulating effect on your body. It's going to deal with serotonin. Okay. So again, we'll go over what serotonin is, but just know that your stimulants are going to deal with serotonin, or at least ecstasy does. Okay. Marijuana is also a hallucinogen, and it's going to deal with dopamine. I haven't done hallucinogens yet. Okay, these are your little mind-altering chemicals that are also going to deal with dopamine. But hallucinogens are going to alter the way you perceive things, so you tend to see visions. And the reason you see things is because it's going to deprive you of all sensory input. So in the absence of sensory input, your brain's going to kind of do its own thing. Okay, methamphetamines also are a stimulant, and they are going to deal with dopamine. Okay, so you're going to have excess dopamine. Alcohol is a depressant, despite what people think, because of the effects. It really does depress your reaction time in your neural system, and the neurotransmitters it's associated with are GABA and glutamate. Cocaine is also a stimulant, and that's going to also cause excess dopamine to become trapped in the synapse of your neuron. And then you have LSD, which is a hallucinogen, which is going to mimic serotonin. So just to kind of go over what some of the drugs are, what class they fall into, and then what neurotransmitter they deal with. And like I said, when I do the neurotransmitter video, I'm going to refer back to each of these different drugs.